This episode is sponsored by Flavor Fest. We are going to be at Flavor Fest. It's going to go down November 7th through the 9th.
Is for our new listeners.
Yeah. So Flavor Fest is the largest Christian festival in the Southeast. It takes place in Tampa, Florida. Trackstarz are going to be down there. We're hosting the beat battle, so we're looking for producers. If you're interested and if you are a producer and you're interested, you can email me, Ryan, at trackstarz.com. I'm taking in all those submissions, and then we got a team that's going to be listening to those tracks. So yeah, Jay, excited about Flavor Fest, man.
Yeah, man.
There's gonna be some good artists performing down there. So Flavor Fest been on a tour this year.
Yeah.
So it's been to Chicago, it's been to Houston, it's been to Los Angeles, it's been to New York, and then they're gonna be kicking it off, finalizing everything in Tampa. And then also, man, I want to shout out. Been doing a lot of the independent artist spotlights.
Yeah, man.
Did Street Disciple last week, and also just yesterday I released the one with Lil Luke G.
Little Luke.
Yeah, Luke Sanchez.
Yeah.
And so it's awesome, man. 8 years old and doing some crazy things.
I think he did some stuff at
Flavor Fest.
Flavor Fest, yeah.
Yeah. So Lil Luke Sanchez, man, awesome young man. He has a new video out called Big Stepper that I'm really feeling.
Stepper.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Love that little guy. But yeah, man, it's just been one of those weeks, man. Y'all pray for Sean. He's not feeling well. Y'all pray for Plain James. He's not feeling well. But we're going to hold it down. What we call this, the Meat and the Bones show?
No, honestly, it's the listen show now.
The listen.
We don't got the visuals today because Sean is out, but you can hear what these people are saying. So, but at the same time, we're still gonna have fun, man. So let's get it going.
Let's go.
All right, man. So first off, man, the thing that hit the streets was Dr. Brian and Cam Newton, man, broken home. So let's check out what that was about.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
by how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God
about
to
your
bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you just
because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Brian, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far, but these families are still broken.
So, I guess the question goes, do y'all think Cam and men like Cam are breaking, or even women like Cam who got that, that type of making children without a father or mother in the house? Do you think these people are creating broken homes?
Yeah, the interesting thing about this with Cam, man, is there's so many things to unpack there, right? Like, I've always tried to dissect Cam a little bit when I watch him and listen.
Yeah.
Knowing that he is from Atlanta, knowing that his father is a pastor of a church, that his mom, leads women's Bible study. That's always intrigued me to be like, how does that translate when they have conversation with him, right?
Yeah.
He openly says, I have 8 kids with 3 different women. And by the way, I want to clear something up that he didn't say in the interview. He has 6 biological kids. He takes care of children by 2 other men.
Oh, wow.
That's what it looks like, man. So it's not 8 kids by 3 different women.
Well, he said 2 women.
He has 4 with one lady, and he has 1 with another, and then he raises her her biological daughter.
Uh-huh.
And then he also just had one with the comedian, I think her name is Jess.
Like
Jasmine, yeah. And so he's got 3 baby mothers, but the first set where he has 4 with one woman. Now the interesting thing to me also was when he said they all live with me.
Yeah.
What that doesn't even make sense that they all live with you. Apparently he's got to be playing house at some point unless he misspoke, because he has a brand new baby that I'm sure is not living with him without the mother.
They all could be living with him. And the mothers don't live with him. You know what I'm saying?
That don't make sense though. She just had this baby.
No, I'm not talking. I mean, maybe she lived with her
together.
Yeah,
I think she lives.
Okay,
I'm talking about his other kids.
So then, her definition of a broken home is right. You created a house for these other kids to live in, or their mothers or whatever, and when they go visit their mothers, that's what they experience. But then you've got a home that you're building with this new mother, right, that you're also not married to, so it just be a matter of time before you replace her and move on.
I think that my thing is this. I think any person that can watch that, and this is my opinion, any woman that watched that and says, yeah, Cam, you can be my baby daddy, then I'm like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why would you want to have somebody who is like, I'm not going to marry you, I just want the kid.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want kids.
Yeah.
Because the kids are an investment. You hear about all the time where these women have kids with these star athletes and rappers, and it's because they're going to get $40,000 a month to live. And what kind of lifestyle are you going to have with $40,000 a month? And you don't have to work, or you either have your own job, you have your own situation going on, but you got $40,000 a month coming in that you have to do nothing with for the next 18 years.
Yeah.
So I think women would sign up for that. And I hate to say that, but that's kind of what she talked about in another interview, where it talks about women that are what's the word she used? I'll come back to that in the next one.
Yeah.
But the thing that scares me the most is he is creating broken homes, but the part that really scared me is like, I want God to send me more.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like, what Bible are you reading?
Right.
Because
the way procreation works.
Yeah. But
principle.
But here's the thing about him. I think at the same time, he doesn't see, like, he sees his money first, because that's what he's scared of. And in the clip, he said, I don't want to get a divorce. I'm more scared of the divorce than raising kids. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's like, I'm scared of marriage.
That doesn't make sense though.
That's what a prenup is for. If it's that deep.
But then that's also part of the celebrity.
I'm just saying, like.
Yeah. That's also part of the celebrity situation, right? The celebrity situation is you get out here, you get tempted by all these things that are put in front of you. Cam is very tempted. He's been very look at Cam's success record.
If he got 6 kids, he's not doing well with temptation.
Right. No, not at all. And he said that. He said God made me a 6 foot. What is he? 6'5", 6'5" athlete. I can't just walk into the store and turn women down. Like if they come at me, I gotta go say something. I gotta go entertain that. Like I just can't. He said it's God's fault that God made him attractive.
That's crazy.
All that is fine and dandy.
But I go back to, what is he hearing from his family? Because it almost sounds like the Kanye complex, where you got so many people around you that are either eating off of you, or they love the light that you're in, the light that you're a part of, the circle, that they don't tell you the truth. Because the first thing I would do is tell my son, bruh, you need to get it together. And if I'm the grandmother or a grandparent of all these kids coming in the house, at some point I'm gonna be like, what are we doing here?
But here's the thing, like me and Maya, I'm gonna let you go next, because you've been quiet, and we want to hear your voice. I was talking to Maya about this, and we was talking about Glorilla, and like, if Glorilla was your daughter, and you gave her, and she rapping the way she's rapping, and you, and she come to you and say, Dad, you know, and you come to her and like, I don't know what you're doing, I don't like what you rapping about, blah, I don't like the music you're putting out. But she come to you in a time of need, and it's like, here's the money for the house, you can pay off the house. Would you take the money, or would you be like,
no, I wouldn't.
Okay. I think a lot of people are getting kickback from Cam.
Of course.
So they're not saying nothing to Cam. His parents ain't saying nothing. We don't know. Honestly, that's a hard thing to say.
And that's the hard
but
part. Yeah.
It looks like they're saying to him, it looks like he's like, I'm paying you, or I'm helping you. So don't tell me what to do with my life.
Man, I'm choosing God over my kids, bro. I'm serious. Like, if my kids are doing something that I know is gonna take me into a fiery pit with them, bro, we separating right here, right now. Separation. Boom. Drawing that line.
So what do you think? What do you think, Shanae?
Oh, I got a lot of thoughts. Okay, see how the first thing I thought about was, well, one, as far as like the family, I feel like grandma has said something, but he's a grown man. He can do what he want to do, you know? But at the same time, what really came out to me, especially when you brought up the fact that he's a PK, is rebellion.
Bars.
This is rebellion.
He mentioned rebellion being a part of his lifestyle, but he also, I think his biggest issue is, and I think this would be all of our issues, right? Or could be. This is the test of character. Is if, like, I've been praying to God about some specific things about my life right now. And one of the things that I've been praying is, God, don't send anything before I'm mature enough to handle it.
Right.
I'll go through this brokenness for as long as you want me to until I learn that lesson. When you feel like I've learned the lesson and I'm okay, I'm shielded, then yeah, I'll be ready for that when it comes. But I think for Cam, his situation was star athlete in high school, right? Westlake High School, which is around the corner from us. Star athlete in college, NFL. It's like the money came, the fame came. So if you're in that point right now where you haven't chosen God over all these things are going to continue to elevate above God. The reasoning is when God told when Jesus told the tax collector to go and sell everything, go sell all your possessions, he was sad. The Bible says he walked away sad.
Yeah.
You're going to be sad if God tells you to get rid of all your things and you're used to people, you're used to being there for everybody. You're used to being in the limelight. You're going to want to choose all those other things if you haven't elevated your character in God first.
Yeah, if you haven't submitted, because God is literally the best thing, even though it seems like you have to give up everything. But it's like, but he's so much more and so much better than everything. And then once you realize that and experience that, you're like, bro, none of this stuff matters.
Yeah.
And another thing that came up to me is like, perfect love cast out fear. And then also a man's way seems right to him. So it's like, bro, you're filtering your life by fear. You're filtering your perspective by sin. And I think Jackie Hill Perry had a video based on that as well, that sin itself is an issue, but it's not the whole issue, because sin shapes your perspective and the way that you see things. And you're making all of these decisions that seem right, that feel right to you, but you're creating broken homes and all of this stuff behind you. The enemy will really have us out here looking stupid. Like, he will really have you out here looking stupid, giving into sin and fear and all the rest of this stuff, when it's like, bruh, you came up in church, you know the way.
So what do you say, Shanae, to a woman that's like, I still want to get with Cam? What advice would you say to
I mean, they're out there.
Oh yeah,
They're out there.
we just came out I think we still in it though, the era of the elevated baby mama and girlfriend, where we got I'm not gonna name drop because I don't want them in my DMs, but like all of these women that are literally on tour, got careers just because they're the girlfriend of a famous rapper or a baby mama. So like they get on Love and Hip Hop and all of these things, so it is a career choice and an investment. But it's like, do you really want that though? Because I understand, I was in a situation before where I was talking to this guy and he wanted a baby so bad, and I'm like, wait, marriage.
Pause.
Like, I understand you want a pretty baby. That's what we had an order here. And it's like, I remember thinking, and I was like, I can't imagine someone that would love my seed more than they love me.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine the amount of, like, I was glad, not like I was thinking about it, or considering it, but the Lord allowed me to feel that for a moment, to where it's like, you're with a man and he loved your kid so much, but he don't love you. He don't want you.
Yeah.
Like, I can only imagine, like, these girls are getting into these situations and situationships thinking like, oh, it's the career, but y'all not thinking about the pain that's going to ensue living that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all worth a man's love and his children, women.
Yeah. I had an encounter with somebody who told me that they were scrolling through Facebook one day, and this dude that they thought was the it guy in high school put on Facebook like, man, I just want kids, and I want to be married. Who wants to have a kid with me? And this person responded like, I do. All right.
Jeez.
And they got engaged. Man and woman of God got engaged and had a kid out of wedlock. And as soon as the baby came, peace out. He was done. He was done. He was gone. So it's like, and we talked about it. Like, that's the trap that the enemy set.
Yeah.
When you were scrolling through Facebook and you saw that was the trap.
But why? Okay. Unfortunately, he was. And here's the thing about Cam and that situation.
Yeah.
They're honest. You get what I'm saying? They're honest in saying.
Oh, we got another honest clip coming up too.
Yeah, we do. But what I'm saying is, they're honest enough to say, hey, if you get with me, most likely you're not going to marry me. I'm not going to marry you. Most likely I'm just going to impregnate you and I'm going to have kids. Mm-hmm. So now it's really on you to say, hey, I want to, like you said, be a baby mama, or nah, bro, I want to be a wife.
And that's what we have to pray for our sisters and our women, because they start thinking about timing.
Yeah.
They start saying, like, well, what if I don't get that husband, but I do want to be a mom so bad. I do want to be a parent.
You ain't gonna get that husband.
Right. And you gonna get the pain.
Right.
Like, God created his order perfect on purpose. It's intentional so that you can avoid all of these pitfalls that you don't even know exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you, being a father of 4 and me and my wife being in this joint, I can't see anybody doing it by themselves without going absolutely crazy. I remember, you know how I don't know if you ever heard of like vertigo.
Yeah,
I have vertigo.
Oh,
And vertigo, you just absolutely cannot do anything. You can't move.
Wow.
Right? Vertigo is like your whole body is
shuts down,
off caliber.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I needed my wife in that moment. And I was so glad I had her, because I had to dump everything I was doing.
Yeah.
She had to send an email to my job because I couldn't hold my phone to send the email. I had to call out through my wife. Like, if I didn't have that and the kids were hungry and they wanted food and they had to go to school, where are we?
But here's the thing. I think Cam also thinks from a perspective of a rich man. Like, I don't have to be there. I have nannies. I have this. I have my mama.
For
I have
now.
all
I
this.
tapped into that, but the issue is he may not always be a rich man.
Exactly. How many NFL players go broke? Like,
they go broke, but then also one bad lawsuit can wipe you out. You know what I'm saying? Like one bad lawsuit.
But I'm sure he getting paid from his podcast. I'm sure his podcast and investments. And I don't think Cam is that stupid where he just not doing nothing with his
But
money.
I mean, it can happen though.
But yeah, stuff
everything
happen.
can go away.
Yeah.
Everything can go away. I mean, you may have a judge come down on him to say, "Oh, you out here bragging about all these women you having kids with? Child support is gonna be $40,000."
Well, they can't get child
per
support
month.
if they live with him. So that's the game, probably. It's
It's got to be co-ownership. I don't see women
co-parent.
Co-parenting. Thank you.
No, it sounds like it though, the way he pictured it.
I don't see women saying, I'm not going to be there for my little girl who's going to go through trials in life where she needs a mother to talk to her about these things, to go through these things
the
with
nanny,
her.
You got grandma.
Man,
you
come
got
on. Bro.
You got auntie.
But if the mother is alive and well, and she just out there because she got her feet up at the pool.
We don't know. Some of these women could be taken care of. Some of these women could be like, hey, I'll give you a monthly allowance. You good. You don't have to. If you want to come see the kid, you can.
That's crazy.
But some people live like that.
Why would you want to give? That's a narcissistic personality Cam has. If he's telling women, I want my kids, even though you were the one that's biologically tied to them. You are the nurturer.
You can come see them when you want to.
Yeah.
But they're not going to live with you. They're going to live with me. And I'm going to take care of them.
Yo, Dr. Bryant, she put people on game.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen one comment negative about what she said.
Yeah.
She's opening up a wound that a lot of people in the culture are dealing with.
Yeah.
And I love the way she attacked it because, man, she came at him with the smoke. She came at Nick Cannon with more smoke, but she came at Cam with the smoke. And it was interesting because I would expect people to be in that situation to kind of cower back a little bit because you're on their platform.
Oh, yeah.
She read him up and down.
She did.
That was crazy. I love
how she was saying how active he is.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm taking my time. No, you're not. You're
Oh, yeah,
selectively active. Woo.
Oh yeah, she had a lot to say.
Speaking of Nick Cannon, she did stop at his podcast, and this is what she said to Nick Cannon. This is what their conversation was about.
have manipulated a situation, and therefore, so it's to no discredit to anyone else.
I got you.
I've come into every situation. I can be God-fearing, celibate, the one that you want. I can tell you everything that you want in a man and show you that. I can open the doors, lay down the cloak, send the jet, do it all to be like, oh my goodness, I've never. And then toxic Nick shows up, and you like this. Got me.
No, but
he done gave me the draws, and I ain't heard from him in 3 weeks.
What you said is perfect. No, what you said is perfect because you named all of the low-functioning, superficial things that a low-functioning woman would fall into.
Church,
women,
that ain't low-functioning.
Baby, any woman,
we going to see the Lord together.
any woman or man,
or the mosque, wherever you want to go. I know them both.
Any person who's done the work.
So, is Nick Cannon manipulating women, or is it like Cam? What y'all think?
Nah, he's worse than Cam.
You think so?
Oh yeah. First of all, he has 11 kids, right?
Yeah.
He has 11.
And counting, maybe.
Well, I think he has 11. I know he has a team.
Yeah,
I heard about NBA YoungBoy just got 12 kids.
How old is he? Isn't he in his 20s?
He's very young. Like, guys.
But I'll say this about Nick Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Cannon's also a PK. What's up with PKs?
Bro,
they're
the ones
out.
that the enemy has to go after.
Yeah.
They're the root. They're the root of the whole ministry.
I honestly think, I'm going to say this is my personal opinion. I think Mariah jacked him up because he ain't been right ever since that marriage.
Mariah jacked him up, but I met Nick Cannon when I was 19, and he had a problem with me immediately because the young lady I was with, he was trying to holler at. And he thought I was trying to holler too. So when I met him, he kind of snubbed me a little bit, like wouldn't shake my hand, wouldn't say what's up. I mean, we were on a movie set. And
when was this?
When I was at 107.9.
Oh, okay.
But the crazy part about it was me and this girl, we were just friends, and she was an intern, but he had his eyes set on her. So he was
this doing Drumline?
Drumline, yep.
Oh, wow.
So he had his eyes set on her, man, but he treated me like I was, you know what I'm saying?
The interview.
It was weird. So I think he has a complex about him, and I think it's an insecurity. But here's the thing, though. I don't ever see Nick not being silly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me to see him. I know he's a great businessman, and he's got a lot of accomplishments, but he always seems like a kid to me. The way he comes off, his whole that whole thing he said just now, that was a kid statement, bro. You don't say that.
The constant interruption and stuff like that is immaturity.
You just put every woman on blast. And now know that you're gonna be as toxic as you want to be, and you're not gonna tell them the truth. They're not gonna get the real Nick Cannon. They don't know who the real Nick Cannon. He don't even know who the real Nick Cannon is.
But I think at the same time, Nick, I think he genuinely loves his kids. But when it comes to women, I think, to me, at the end of the day, man, if you hear people talk like this and you still go for it, then something is wrong with you, bro.
That's what she said, low functioning.
If this was like, Lori, she was interviewing Lori Harvey and she said that, and I still want to, and I wasn't married and I still want to try to holler at Lori, that's on me.
Yeah, that's
you
the
get
same
what I'm saying?
thing.
Like at that point, it's on me to be like,
yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm trying to think maybe I could change her, and some women probably thinking maybe I could change Nick. Nick ain't changed. Only Jesus can really truly change Nick.
Yeah.
Like if he surrendered his life to totally surrender and stop like knowing church and knowing things of church, but knowing have a real relationship with Jesus. Because you can't have a real relationship with Jesus and still be like, yeah, I'm gonna take you to the church, but then I'm gonna manipulate you. Like, you can't do that.
But the problem with Cam, I mean, the problem with Nick is that, and all of these folks, it's fame. Fame is jacking you up. Fame makes you want to be the person that they want you to be for as long as you can be that person.
You think so?
Oh yeah, that's what fame does.
I don't think so. I think well, he's been famous. I'm not Cam. Nick Cannon's been famous long.
Teenager, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not negating. I'm telling y'all what happened. I believe his marriage with Mariah Carey shifted his whole mentality about life. Because to me, it's no way you were married and he didn't have no kids before Mariah Carey.
I couldn't even see him being married to Mariah Carey. That was the hardest thing for me to understand. For everybody. That was so hard to understand.
I mean, I can see how they related to each other. I mean, and I can see it,
but I just wanted a kid.
I just think at the same time that marriage whatever he went through in that marriage made him go okay, I'm gonna go.
But he was insecure in that marriage.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, he was insecure in that marriage.
Fame and insecurity is a terrible combination.
Yeah, because isn't there a big age gap between the two of them?
I think it was.
Yeah, he was insecure in that marriage. I would imagine that Nick will probably talk about this later on in his podcast and stuff like that, but probably Well, yeah, he talked about it with Dr. Bryant. Like, he was always abandoned.
Yeah.
Right? So he probably in his mind at some point felt like he was moving away from Mariah. Mariah was moving away from him. And he just kind of snapped. And then I think what he uses is his fame and his money to lord over people to make him feel bigger than them.
Yeah.
So these women now don't look intimidating to him anymore. They're not intimidated by him, you know.
Well, I think. What do you think?
I mean, he's not intimidated by them.
No, I agree. That's why, I guess in her words, what is it? Did she say low vibrational? Low functional.
Yeah.
There we go. Low functional women, because it makes you feel bigger and better.
Yeah.
Exactly. To be honest, because if you're going to be around mature and fully healed women, the stuff you saying and doing ain't gonna fly.
Let me ask you this question.
But wait, hold on real quick. Do you think when she said low functional women at church? That's what he said. You ain't him say that? He's like, we going to church. There ain't no low functional women at church.
He said going to church ain't low functioning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
he is applying that women
Right.
at church. He like, I'm going to church with these women. So she was trying to say he was low functioning.
His issue is he doesn't understand character.
Yeah.
He's confused with what low functioning means. Right?
Yeah.
He's thinking, I think in his mind, he's putting it into a classist situation, right?
Yeah.
You're at a lower class than me because you don't have the money, you don't have the fame, you don't have what I can give you. Because he talked about planes, he talked about whining and dining you, all that kind of stuff. But then I'm going to turn on the masculinity, I'm going to turn on the toxic male, and I'm never going to call you again. I'm going to get the whatever and never call you again.
Yeah. Let me get the draws and
I didn't want to say that on the mic. I had to clean that up, Jay.
That's crazy.
But now...
But that's what he said. I mean, so
That's what he
basically I'm gonna wind down you. We're gonna have sex, and then I'm gonna send you back home, and I'm gonna change my number.
Yeah. He told him, and that's the thing is that now you got to go through a situation where you meet him, and if you are a woman that's cautious of it, and that's the thing though. I think a lot of I think that low functioning thing that Dr. Bryant pointed out is happening across the board, men and women.
Yeah.
And I think the issue is more so character than it has to do with finances or
But
anything
for
else.
him, he said he has good character.
He doesn't.
No.
To him, to himself, he probably thinks I'm a good character man. I'm just a womanizer.
I've asked God to reveal this to me in my prayer closet. What does it mean when you get money and fame? What does that mean to him, right? To God.
Yeah.
Because for me, when you say good character, it goes back to like with Rick Ross and Meek Mill saying, yeah, I make music that talks about killing our community, but I also give out turkeys on Thanksgiving. So I'm above what you're calling me bad character. My character is I do for the community.
Yeah.
That's not what God looks at. And so I feel like that's where Nick and Cam Newton are struggling, is in they feel like I have good character. I take care of people. I'm nice when I meet you.
Yeah.
I'm welcoming. I'm da 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 da. I'm all these things, but we're not talking about that kind of character. We're talking about who are you to God.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they're, I mean, man, oh my God, the Bible goes through it so much about character and how God sees us. And honestly, I'll say this. When I think of Cam Newton, well, I'll say either between Cam Newton and Nick, I can't think about which one right now, but it just reminds me of Solomon. It reminds me of Solomon. It reminds me of Solomon, how Solomon had all
Solomon or Samson?
Solomon. Yeah.
More than
With
Samson?
Ecclesiastes.
Well, Solomon had all these wives.
No, he did, but at the same time, I think Samson was so blinded by Delilah that it took him away from what God was
but
calling him
Solomon
to do.
ended up turning away from God.
Yeah, because
to
of-
these
from
false
women,
gods, because the women
Yeah.
pulled him in that direction.
Yeah.
Cam and Nick are being pulled away by women. Their issues are going back to like issues with women that's pulling them away further from God.
Which
But
I
that's
think goes back to,
self-control.
yeah, that's what I was about to
Oh,
say.
it is
It goes
self-control.
back to self-control and character. So it's like, if what you're doing, your works, as we know, we're not saved by works. You think you're a good person because works, but there's no good without God.
Yeah.
And we filter through scripture what's telling us what is good character, what are fruits of the spirit. You can't have that without God, bro.
Yeah.
So you can do the good things and giving out turkeys, but what does your heart look like?
Yeah. Exactly.
But for them, giving out turkeys is something from their heart. They're giving. They're gracious. They're helping people in need. You know what I mean? Where they feel that way, like, hey, I'm giving back to my community. I got a football camp that I do for kids. I do toy drives. I do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes to these ladies,
Yeah. Sounds like whitewash walls to me.
Yeah,
I'm dirty, I'm gross, but I'm just going to paint over it real quick.
that's funny.
Yeah, I think.
All right,
that's it.
man.
Just dress it up good.
Next topic that was hot on these streets and still hot on these streets is Steph Curry. Steph Curry talked about Kamala Harris and why she's the easy choice. Here we
boy.
go.
Anytime you step into this lane, you know it's going to be received, in a lot of different ways. And for me, it's all about creating conversations that are about being decent human beings, first and foremost. I think we've lost that a little bit to where, obviously, endorsing Kamala is important for me, for my family, especially women's rights, and thinking about, what's at stake with this election, and understanding, like, we need to be in a position where women have the right to choose what's right for them. And that's at the top of the list for me. I have amazing women in my life who've, been a huge inspiration to me. But knowing Kamala and having been around her, and I understand she's qualified for this job. She's, I think, representing what it means to be a great leader and being a decent human being in terms of representing our country the right way. So it's an easy choice for me.
So, the Christians in the streets and on social media is going at him like, going at him. Steph, come on, man. Steph, come on. What are you doing? You a Christian. And a story did come out about his mom.
Okay.
Saying that she wanted to abort Steph.
Okay.
But her, I believe her mom or when somebody was like, "You're not going to abort him. You're going to have that child." You know what I mean? So some people are saying that's hypocritical of him because he knows the story of him possibly being an abortion, but you're going for somebody who was that. So what do you guys think?
Well, I got off the Steph bus with good times. I ain't been back on that bus yet. I still, when I hear him in interviews, I still turn off YouTube because
Really?
Man, that bothered me,
Yeah,
bro.
it was trash.
That bothered me.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't
that
think I
bothered me
finished an
so bad,
episode.
man. A baby selling drugs and shooting up his community,
Yeah.
and you're the executive producer.
Terrible.
Did that go away, by the way? Because I've never even searched it on Netflix, but it
Good
went away,
Times?
right?
No, I'm thinking it's probably still on Netflix.
Trash.
Anyway, so back to this conversation.
You ain't like the baby shooting dice.
No.
I need
It was
some-
ridiculous.
So offended by that, man. So back to this conversation. I was having this conversation with all of you guys before we started the show, and I mean, Mike's hot now, so I got to keep it going, right? I always seem to get in trouble when Sean isn't here, so let me be wise with my word, my choice. I was just saying based off what people are saying about one person, and I'll just say this. What people are saying about one candidate, I need to see that fruit. I need to see that bad fruit being dropped in front of me before I'm like, okay, so this person is a witch. Interesting. Because that was the first thing my mother asked me when I sent her the clip of the show. Was like, yeah, so what you think about this? And she was like, what does she do? How is she a witch? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's my thing is like, one candidate you can hear the fruit dropping off the edge of a table that's rotten and bad and just whatever. But then the other person is like, okay, you're attacking somebody's character. You're attacking what their record was, what they did. And then only one of them was a politician, really?
Well, I think this.
They had to go through scrutiny.
At the end of the she is. At the end of the day, I think to me, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't think there's nobody good in politics.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think that, because I think even if we think about, like, even for us as black people, if we think about Obama, if you had to see what Obama did in office for, like, maybe bombing a country that he, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think anytime any president has to do something that America will probably, if the citizens seen it, probably be like, is that right to do?
You think getting Osama bin Laden was bad?
No, I'm saying maybe you bombed the place and you thought Osama bin Laden was there, but it was a bunch of kids there and it was some other innocent people there, but you thought he was there, so you're like, hey, we gotta drop a bomb on that, and that happens.
And
it's
it does
war.
happen. I mean, honestly, going back to Samson, right? When Samson collapsed that Coliseum it was a wedding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There were men, women, and children in there that died.
Yeah.
He killed them all. you know?
Yeah.
And so to me, it feels like, some things, Jerry's our producer, Jerry, he might not like this word I use. It seems like, and I might be watching too many movies when I say this too, casualties of war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Casualties of war.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not a bad thing as I thought, because Jerry didn't look at me like,
It's collateral damage.
hurt me. But and so to me it's like, man, you could drop a drone and kids might be in the vicinity and debris might kill them.
Gotcha.
You might not necessarily be going for that, right? And so
are you making are you co-signing it?
No. What I'm saying is, what I was gonna say was, I think this is the rotation of our country since 1976. 1776. For every 4 years, we get trash, and people don't like. And half the country likes the trash, and the other half doesn't like the trash.
Yeah.
Then the next 4 years, we get some more trash, or you see what I'm saying? And it goes back and forth. I went back and I looked at debates from like Eisenhower days, I you know what I'm saying, and this the same thing. Toxicity on one side, the country hates this person. Other side of the country likes this person. Yeah. It never changes. In our lifetime, it has never changed.
But here's the question though. Mm-hmm. From Steph's perspective, he's probably him and Trump clashed before, so I understand he don't like him. Period. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, do you think his reasoning is fair, because he's saying that I have a lot of women around me and I would like them for their rights not to be taken away from him? What do you guys think? Because that's one of his points was, and then we have people in the comments saying that just because he wants women's rights doesn't mean he's for abortion.
Steph,
I feel like that's the main topic though, that they're carrying with women's rights is abortion. And it's like, I have wonderful women of God too. I like to believe I'm a wonderful woman of God, but I don't stand for abortion. I don't.
And I don't either. And I can tell you personally that I have talked women out of abortions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've literally said, please don't abort that child. You know?
Have you helped them afterwards?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
The Lord is going to help.
Okay. Me and this person, listen, every time I talk about a personal situation online, I always get somebody to comment back. But me and this person haven't talked in over 20 years, so maybe this is safe to say. But I actually had somebody I knew got pregnant by the pastor of the church who was married.
Wow.
Right? And she was like, I'm getting an abortion. I was like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And she was like, he's saying I'm going to ruin his life. I'm ruining my life. I got it. And I was like, you need to be able to pray through this thing and not let his decision, because he was afraid of being exposed.
Yeah,
but she was like,
I
I already have a kid, and she was like, and then I'm a single mom, and I'm gonna stay a single mom, and I'm gonna do it a second time. It was already hard the first time, and I'm like, do not do that. I was like, that is something that you would have to live with for the rest of your life, and the enemy wants to agonize you over that for the rest of your life. Don't do it. So she didn't do it, and she has a wonderful son to this day.
How's the son now?
How old?
Yeah.
A teenager.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a teenager now.
Wow.
They don't talk about the repercussions after getting an abortion as well.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that. And then also, my story is similar to Steph Curry's story. My mom was going to abort me. She was actually on the abortion table when the voice of the Lord spoke to her and said that death would be her reward. So I wouldn't be here if God didn't literally speak to my mom and make her get up.
And that's where I feel like this is where we have to step in as Christians.
Sorry, Mama.
It has to be it has to be a voice.
Don't tell my business.
Right.
It has to be a voice outside of a vote.
Yeah.
It has to be a voice outside of a vote. Yeah. There's another person. I have a goddaughter, and her mother was about to abort her. She got pregnant at 17. And I literally said, now that person's life I did step into. I said, if you don't abort this child, I will be in her life or his life some way, right? And she was like, what about godparent? And I was like, cool. And that's how it happened. Wow. And so, it's one of those things, man, where outside of the vote, you got to be a voice. And I think if Christians continue to do that, then it works in favor for us, because one, we as Christians aren't sitting up trying to abort our kids. So we're not making the personal choice against God ourselves. But if we hear about somebody that's making the person or wants to make the personal choice, or we have somebody in the situation that is going through something like that, then we can step in and be that voice. And so, But with Steph, and this is the thing too.
Should we judge his Christianity? Because I think that's what a lot of people are doing. Also,
Judging his Christianity?
They're judging his
No.
Christianity. I've seen the
No,
guy
you
say, "See, that's the reason." See,
I'm not going to judge his salvation, but I will judge his theology and doctrine or whatever, because I think as a body, we need to take a bigger stand on loving what God loves and hate what God hates, and that our hearts should break for the things that God hearts breaks. So if you're going to stand up and you are going to vocalize something on the platform saying, as a Christian, I believe, it needs to line up with the Bible.
What about on the conservative ticket where you've got capital punishment?
They killed people back in the day. I mean, we look in the Bible when they disobeyed. It's funny because me and my sis was talking about this when the Lord told David not to do a census of the army, and he did anyway.
Yeah.
And he came back and said, okay, you got two choices. Either I'm going to kill some of your army or there's going to be a famine. Does this apply? I think it does.
I just,
you know,
it's just one of those things because politics and Christianity, in my personal opinion, it's hard because on one end you have people going so hard against abortion and other stuff, which we should, but at the same time we overlook the poor, we overlook the needy, we overlook the injustice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the vice versa. You know what I mean? So I think that's why I'm like, do I think Christians should be in politics? Yes, to make the difference that God has called them to be the ambassadors there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think as Christians, we shouldn't fight back and forth. I think
I agree with that.
Our lives are kingdom based. Should we engage in politics where it's like we tell our opinions and what the scriptures say? Of course.
Yeah.
But we got to be both. We can't. We got to be where it's like we got to be there when injustice happen. We got to be there when we need to feed the poor and the needy, and we got to clothe the people like Jesus said, and the widows. And then also we need to be there for people who, like you said, you've been there for somebody who's about to talk somebody off of getting an abortion, or then also loving people that may be different than us as well, but telling them the truth. You know what I mean? So I think we have to be the whole model. We just can't be one party. You know what I mean? And I think so many of us has been just one party. All right.
Oh, hold on, real quick. So my biggest tiff with this abortion conversation, and it tracks with what you're saying, is that we're talking about the end. Let's go to the beginning. Let's go to the decisions that led up to this.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are too many people that are trying to use abortions as birth control.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I do know someone in college that this girl was on her 10th.
Jeez.
And it's like, she wasn't my friend. I wasn't associated with her.
She was at Molich all the time.
But it's like
here,
listen,
burn, baby, burn.
Yeah.
It's 2024. Like we have to make better decisions. So I understand as a believer, biblically, I accepted the understanding that the Lord does not want me to have sex before marriage, and I am honoring that. And that other people aren't Christians and they're not living that lifestyle, so you're not honoring that. Which that's your path. I pray you find the Lord and then see His goodness in that, and why He decided for us to live this way.
Yeah.
But we got to make better decisions on the front end so that you don't get to 8 months, because that's a big thing about this abortion thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like to say, oh, well, if somebody gets raped, this and this and that, there are things in order for that. You're supposed to go to the hospital. They flush your system. My issue is you get pregnant and then you're deciding, oh, it's month 6. I don't want this baby no more. I'm going to abort them. They can live on their own outside the womb now. And I've literally witnessed a girl about to have her baby shower, and she aborted the baby right before the baby shower, literally like a week before.
And still got them gifts.
No, I don't think so.
Gift
But
cards.
it's just
Come
like
there with the pillow on their stomach. You get them gifts.
crazy. But it's like, come on, y'all. We got to make better decisions. In 2024, there's too many contraceptives. There's too many things and steps that you can take before. There's spermicides. I don't know if I can say that on here. Yeah. There's so many things that you can do to avoid this.
So you're saying that conversations that some people are having on the Christian side are, we got to be anti-fornication first, more so than we are anti-abortion.
I feel like the church is having a lot of anti-fornication conversations, but I feel like as far as politics, where it's like the world, where the nation is involved, that's not just Christian people. I'm saying with them, make better decisions, make stronger choices, have forward thinking. Because I understand like having sex, even what they say condoms are 99% proof.
Yeah.
But it's like double forms of birth control. Are you on birth control? Because there's
Well,
women
well,
I also heard that weren't.
Well, we're about to move on, but I
Oh.
guess the question goes, as a Christian, should you put your kids on birth control?
Oof.
Because then, in essence, you're
No.
engaging
No.
sex.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
We should be
You
teaching
shouldn't.
them no and
But should
why
you-
God
but,
says no.
But here's the question: should a Christian parent say, "I want you to be abstinent, but just in case, I want you to learn how to put on a condom"? Should
That's
that happen? Because remember that show back in the day, the pastor show, when they had that, and he was like, "I had to teach my kids to put on protection because I got burnt."
Yeah.
That's fair.
No, because I would protect my children with the word and not with something tangible. You know what I mean? Like I would definitely say, if you're not in this word, then this little item I bought from the store isn't gonna help you.
No, it won't. But
It ain't gonna save you.
But from a perspective of that pastor was like, God forbid, I don't want them to. I want them to wait till they're married. But God forbid, if they was to get into a situation and then she don't know what to do, he don't know what to do, and they get pregnant, then it's like. And I'm not saying we're not saying endorse it. We're not saying, hey, this is how you have premarital sex.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying just in case, if you do this, then
Yeah.
this. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn how to do this.
When I was in high school, I carried around condoms, and it was
Your daughters are gonna look back up all these episodes and gonna be like, our daddy was the biggest hypocrite. Of
I didn't.
2000s."
I didn't buy them. I didn't buy them. My friends would give them to me as we're headed out to parties, and it was
Your mom found them? Your mom and dad found them? Oh,
nah.
okay.
I had them in college too.
It makes an imprint in your wallet, so they already know what's up.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, the
Especially
whole
if you've been in there
imprint-
too long.
Yeah, exactly. but you know what? It was the slimiest I ever felt in my life when it came to trusting God in the process. It was slimy because it was like, God, I'm standing on your word, but they gave me this just in case I get into a situation. But
Yeah.
you know what? One
And
of the things
I'm just
Yeah.
for anybody out there that's like, yo, see no, I am pro abstinence. Wait to marriage.
Oh,
you
me
know
too.
what I mean? I
Absolutely.
think everybody here is wait
Yeah.
to marriage. I'm
Absolutely.
just saying what I've heard over the years, even in
Yeah.
churches, where people are saying maybe you need to teach kids how to put on a condom just in case. That's what I've heard.
I'm gonna tell you, like, every time I got to a situation where it could happen, man, the Holy Spirit was right in my ear, bro. Oh my God,
Same.
so arresting, and I'm so grateful for it, man.
Yeah.
So grateful for it, because I remember the young lady was like, she kind of like told me we were, just go hang out and watch a movie at my house, and then the
dang.
situation
She
just
tricked-
went.
She tricked you like
They go
that?
from
Went
0
left
to
fast,
100.
right?
Ryan, you weren't
I
innocent,
literally said, man, you want to read the Bible? And I'm like, who said that? Oh, that was quick. And she was like, sure. We read the word, and I went home after that.
Amen.
But it was arresting, man. Like I felt the presence of the Lord with me. Like it was like he was the one that gave me the Bible.
Yeah.
Amen.
Here. So I feel like, I'm going to trust the word of God, and I'm going to trust my kids to be in that word, to not have to worry about what they are doing and not doing. And I'm going to continue to talk to them and have conversation with them. And I'm going to set the example. Mommy and daddy set the example.
Yeah,
that's
good.
great.
Yeah, that's good.
Because my mom definitely taught us. We had full conversations, but she taught us consequences. So she was like, even though a condom may protect you from this, it don't protect you from everything else, the emotional, psychological, all the rest of that.
And that's great.
Yeah.
And that's what parents should do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even if you talk about both sides of it, like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a condom that they said they would protect you from, but you get soul ties still.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
need to explain the whole gamut. And I
Yeah.
don't think, honestly, I don't think me and Maya was talking about this. I don't think we have stuff for kids. Like I remember when we in our
VeggieTales,
20s.
don't say VeggieTales.
No, I'm saying in our 20s I was part of a conference that helped kids learn from like not have sex and being abstinent.
No, I was in a
You know what I'm
purity
saying?
class.
Yeah, not
I
a
was in
pure.
a
It was like a conference, and for kids, we had like rappers come and everything for like entertainment.
gotcha.
But like the breakout session was about health and how do you be pure? How do you do different things? But what I'm saying is that those don't exist to the point where somebody would, like her mom telling her, like, yes, this is a condom. This can protect you, but this won't protect you from nits. This won't protect you from soul ties. This won't protect you from emotional damage. Stuff like that. But all that to say is, be pure and holy. And we're praying for Brother Steph. All right, so here we go. Another thing happened this week. The movie that everybody's been talking about in the black community, Deliverance. And well, in the black church. Deliverance.
I've been hearing more about Forge than Deliverance.
Yeah, but people are saying, should we watch it? Should we not? We had the actress Audrey Day. She was on CBS this morning, and she talked about the movie. So this is what she talked about.
Yeah.
Being a believer in tackling topics that this movie covers can be difficult, not just as an actor, but it can stay with you. It can wear on you. It can be like a cologne or a perfume that doesn't leave you. Y'all had a preacher on the set that prayed every day, and you prayed with the group. Why was that important for you?
Well, I didn't know he was going to be there at first, so I was really happy he was there because I'm a praying person, so I like to pray before every scene, before everything that we do, every show. And
Nate, before she came out here, we were praying in the green room. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Before you came out here, yes.
But I think, and having, his name was Apostle Lewis, and he was amazing to have on set. And I think what it meant is that we're taking seriously the topics that we're dealing with, not just dealing with the paranormal and the spirit realm, but also taking seriously the emotional weight of what it is that we're dealing with. These characters do stay with you. They can traumatize you for sure. And so, but I think that's also, sometimes, we are to take certain things seriously, but I also don't believe that we're supposed to be walking in fear. And that's a part of the reason I agreed to do the movie, is that I was sort of reminded through prayer that, like, I have authority over these things. These things are underfoot, and it was important for me to remember that and to show this woman exemplifying that and overcoming that. So it was amazing having him on set and praying with the team, and it was great.
So, I know we had a big call about it, and it's like, did y'all watch the movie? And I know some of y'all didn't.
Sir.
But what are y'all thoughts about it? And what did you say, Ryan? You said the topic you got out of this.
Yeah, the question was, is it better for a Christian to do a film like this than a non-believer? Because she sounds like she's aware that there's spiritual warfare that could come out of this. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, like, I don't know if you all ever read the testimony about what happened with the Passion of Christ. But the Passion of Christ, man, they went through some stuff. The actor who played Jesus, he got pneumonia on set. He was hospitalized.
Wow.
They went through a lot of different adversities, man. It was wild.
They said Lee Daniels he lost his dog, but then one of his sisters caught cancer because somebody in the scene. It was like a lot of stuff behind the scenes happened. Like somebody fire almost blew in somebody's face really bad. Like, it was like a lot of demonic stuff was happening on that set. Yeah, and that's the thing. See, I don't play with that side of things, man. Like, I'm not for ushering in or even for the purposes of acting.
Exactly.
To usher in something that's not supposed to be there in my life. I'm not opening up these portals. And the thing about it the scary thing about it is, like, atheists don't know that if they want to know whether or not there's a God or not, they can see these things happening before them and come to know that, okay, the darkness is here. There's got to also be light. And so,
but they had somebody on the set praying. They had a pastor praying. They prayed before each what's the name?
Bro,
and this is based off a true story.
That's like Jesus and the disciples meeting the man who was possessed on the road, and he's shaking and shivering and going all crazy and attacking everybody. And how powerful did they say he was? He had the strength of like 6, 7, 8 men, whatever. Yeah. Bro, no, right. I'm not bringing that in. I'm not bringing that in by any chances to entertain.
What if somebody saying, a Christian going, y'all, this is just a movie. It's not that serious.
Then you are heavily deceived, and you don't know much about spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
As an actress, I have never signed up for a paranormal role, scary movies, because I understand that when they do these films, you had a pastor on set, which I'm gonna get to that, but they also invite demonic people to come in and set the atmosphere. They do seances, they do all kind of stuff to set the atmosphere, to bring in these entities and spirits. Half the time, these actors ain't acting. they scared or whatever. So you're inviting this stuff into your life. And the big thing that hit me is they're like, oh, we're praying. The word says test every spirit. And I don't know her. I don't know them. But at the same time, just because you're saying that you're praying, I'm not disarmed. Who are you praying to?
Yeah.
Because this is not wise.
She said she was praying to Jesus.
I didn't hear Jesus. She said Jesus?
She said she's a believer, and she's
a believer in what?
Believer in Jesus Christ. And she said on a set is a part where she was speaking in tongues. She was doing all that.
She said that the apostles coming in or whatever, like if you call me, if I'm the apostle and you call me and say, hey, we need you to come out to this set and pray over it because we are doing some things where we're channeling demons and this is a demonic, but y'all need to be doing that film.
That's what I'm saying.
And then I'm hanging up the phone.
I feel like it's reverse psychology also at the same time because, like you said, for a non-believer, not even that. Okay. So to say, yeah, I wanted to do this, but I have authority. Did we not forget about the story in the Bible where they tried to cast out demons and they beat them up publicly? Yeah. So just because, yes, I have the authority to trample on scorpions and demons and all the rest of the stuff like that, like, them demons didn't know them. They said, I know Jesus, but I don't know you. And then also, are you living with there's certain levels of authority? Do you have the consecrated life that matches that authority that allows you to cast out a certain level of demon? You are inviting stuff into your space and into your life that you may not have the power to relinquish on your own.
Yeah. Talk about what your school that you just got. I don't know if you graduated yet or okay. Talk about the school and why you so passionate about what you're saying, because you are in the movie background. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a movie background and doing Christian movies and stuff. Talk about that a little bit more and the dichotomy between what you said, because you said stuff strong that people probably did like. How did she know that?
Well, I'm a church baby, so I grew up in the church. My mother the Lord called her to Deliverance. So I've been around Deliverance. I've been reading books on Deliverance, even lately, like a current read that I think is a really good read. Well, I'll give you two. He Came to Set the Captives Free by Rebecca Brown. That'll give you a lot of insight on the spiritual world and how the enemy attacks Christians, but also gives you tools on what you can do to protect yourself, specific scriptures, understanding and everything. There's also another one, Deliverance from Demonic Covenants and Curses. I can't remember his name, but it's on Amazon, so you'll be able to see that one. So I have background based on that, not so much from the writing. The program I graduated from is Act One, so they teach us about, screenwriting and writing for film and TV. And then we have mentors from people that are actively working in Hollywood that are teaching us about those things. And ironically, we did have like a discussion about those type of films and how they do have redemptive value in a sense to where it's like these also walking that line to where it's like, oh, these things exist, but I have the authority as a believer, or there's redemption that only Jesus Christ can save me from these things. Yes. But at the same time, I'm just like, that's not for me. I feel like as believers, no.
So you're talking about horror in general? Because I know for me, I told this to my wife. I was like, I can't really do Jason, or if I had to choose to watch a horror film, I would rather do a slasher film than spirituality film, because I feel like demonic stuff is like too real. But I guess it's all in the same vein, I guess. But
in a sense, like, yeah, if I ever watch a scary movie, it's literally like, okay, yeah, it's a serial killer or whatever type thing. But that paranormal stuff, like, I've dealt with that since I was younger. Like, I've had stuff slap me out of my sleep. This stuff is real. So it's like, this stuff is very real. So don't walk into it feeling like, yes, I have the authority. You do have the authority of Jesus Christ. Yeah. However, don't invite this stuff in because you're prideful or boastful. Like, I have authority, so I can do what I want. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. We just need to be wise. And I think a important thing that she said too is that these characters stay with you and they traumatize you. These characters, these spirits, these demons, these strangers, these names that are quoted in the Bible, These are demons. Let's not play with them.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good, man. Wow. Dang, Ryan, you got anything else?
No, I mean, like I said, I agree that we shouldn't be doing these things if it means that we're gonna go against, come up against spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
Some people are maybe built for that.
I mean, it's some Christians that saying they watched it, and at the end, Jesus' name was clear. Jesus was the only way these people got freed, and stuff like that. So
that's different.
Yeah. So it was like that. But
so it had a good message to it.
But I mean, at the end, but I think at the same time, I think from some other people saying that, well, the director, he open lifestyle, and it's like he ain't delivered, so how you gonna direct something about deliverance? And it's like, there's a lot of stuff to this.
I ain't gonna lie, because I thought from what I saw on Instagram, I thought it was a Christian film. So I was like, period.
Yeah.
Amen. But as soon as this was last night, as soon as I clicked on it, because I wanted to read the synopsis first, and I saw Lee Daniels, I was like, wait. He writes great stuff, so I'm not saying anything terrible about Lee Daniels, but that I was like, I thought this was a Christian film with Christian parameters around it, and then my roommate said, well, I did hear people saying like they experienced like themselves experience things and manifestations, their house experienced manifestations after watching this film as well. That's all I needed. I was like, I'm good. I'm straight off that.
All right, man. So since we're here, we're right here. We're here, right here.
Sorry, can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to say too as well, that we have to be very careful, because even though things may have the likeness of God, or it may be drenched in candy at the center of it. So it's like, okay, I got a good message. It's talking about that God and Jesus and this and this and that. But if the fruit of it is people are experiencing demonic things in their homes after watching it, that's something we got to think about. So just because things have the appearance of good doesn't mean that it's always good. So we have to be prayerful in everything that we do, because you don't want to open doors and all kind of stuff in your life and you get tormented. And some things you can't get rid of through self-deliverance, because you need a consecrated lifestyle, knowledge, authority, and there's levels of that. And you may need a deliverance minister or to seek a deliverance ministry at a church so that they can come together in prayer to help that stuff get off you.
But also, I did hear this about horror movies in general. They said, I've seen a pastor talk about this, and I don't know how extremely true it is, but I kind of believe what he's saying. He was like, every horror movie that ever came out, somebody related to that movie passed.
Like Portuguese. I think the whole
majority of the cast,
the majority of the cast died.
But like any horror movie, it's like somebody associated, like if the director, he may not die, but somebody in his family or somebody, you know what I mean? So but anyway, the next topic, Megan Ashley had Daria Pina. She is somebody popular out in the West Coast. She was talking about music, and this is what she said. Check it out.
As somebody who has been sexually active since a teenager, right? Who has now fully submitted into the lordship of Christ and is now doing it God's way. I have had to make a decision about the music that I consume.
That's so good, though.
Cardi, you're Dominican from the Bronx and I love you, can't listen to you.
There is it.
Meg,
all that WAP, I can't do that.
But I cannot listen to WAP. I can't rock with the WAP. I can't. I can't listen to Meg Thee Stallion.
You said because I would be somewhere I ain't got no business being.
That's a bar.
That's real talk, though. That's
let me
real
tell
talk.
You two things that happened to me. But you can't, because here's the thing. I listen to that music. It brings back things into my memory, and my body responds to it.
That's real. People don't be talking about that. That's
real. You have to acknowledge that, because I think there's an arrogance that we tend to carry. Like, oh yeah, I got Christ in me. I could do it. I could go Netflix and chill and withstand. Then you're gonna be crying the next day.
So what you guys think?
Yeah, the chat's asking to say the name again of who that was talking. It was Megan Ashley and
Daria Pina.
Okay,
I hope I said her name right.
Yeah,
but like I think she's a influencer or or a chef or something. I think I found some stuff about her. But yeah, she's out on the West Coast and she's a believer.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. I remember I remember coming home from the club, you know, when I was, of course, working at the clubs. I remember coming home from the club.
for clarity purposes.
Yeah. I don't want y'all to think I was out there wilding and stuff. I mean, I had a couple of club nights with some friends, but it was never crazy stuff. But I remember coming home, and it was so much silence in the car. And I don't know, it's weird. You know how you've been in the club and your ears are popping?
No, I don't.
Okay, never mind. You know how you've been DJing? You know, I find that so funny, man, that you've never been to a club?
I've been to like when your boy did Exodus. I've been to that.
Okay.
When they had it downtown.
Okay.
When they like the club, but I didn't get inside, so I can't
Okay.
remember if I've been to like a sports bar, but then all of a sudden they turned it into a dance floor club kind of vibe. But not never like I stayed online and went inside.
Okay.
The club.
When me and Sean were both working at Radio 1, we would go into the clubs and we would hand out destination flyers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like right around the corner, there's an event coming where you can hear about Jesus.
Oh, y'all was at what
Vegas
club?
Nights.
Oh, Vegas Nights. Yeah. That was not far from our church.
Yep. And so anyway, yeah, I remember driving home and I couldn't hear. My ears had already been clogged up from being around the speakers all night. And I just had this feeling come over me, Holy Spirit, of course. And it was like, throw those CDs out. Because I was big on 8 Ball and MJG. And,
He still is.
And 666 Mafia.
Oh,
man.
Tear that club up, come on. I'll put that instrumental on, but I ain't going to get
That's
jacked
okay.
up.
That's all right. That's all right. That's just having fun. I can do that in the basement with my kids. Tear the club up. Tear the basement up. You know, whatever.
Tear the basement up.
But the other songs from 666 Mafia I can't do. And so, yeah, there was this presence that came over me where my spirit didn't want to hear that music anymore. It was like, and I threw it out the window. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, I littered, but I threw it out the window. I threw my CDs out the window.
But do you think music has that power for like somebody like what she was talking about? She's talking about like even believers of saying stuff that can take you back. Where she was like, I can't listen to Cardi or Megan because it makes my body want to.
Oh, not even that. Yeah. I mean, Megan and Cardi disgust me.
Yeah, they're.
You hear me? Disgust me.
Man, you lived through 2 Live Crew.
I never listened to 2 Live Crew.
Yeah,
ever.
you did.
You
said you was at the Freaknik.
I said I went to Freaknik. I went to Freaknik, but I don't know the songs. I don't know the songs.
That was the theme song.
For $1 million, for $1 million, right now on the table, I cannot name one.
If I play Doodle Brown, you can hear that. If I play I Wanna Rock.
Okay, just because you said the names, I know those names, but I've never heard the song.
You never heard I Wanna Rock?
Never heard it.
You lying,
I promise
Ryan.
you.
Why are you
Ryan
unrighteous?
Because right now, the only song that comes to mind when you say I Wanna Rock is a song that I heard from Road Trip. I Wanna Rock. Yeah, that's the only song that comes to mind. I don't know what you're talking about.
You live in Atlanta and you've never heard
it.
I Wanna Rock.
Nope.
By Luke.
Oh, Luke. Oh, yeah. No.
I Wanna Rock right now.
That's Raw Beast.
Oh, that's all I know then. Raw Beast.
Hey, Emma. You never heard that song?
Oh, I have, but I don't. Hold on. But what I'm saying is these songs were never in my playlist to the point where I had to listen and be like, oh yeah, that's my jam. Like I don't know that stuff. Now I was into bass music.
That's bass music.
But I didn't listen to bad bass music. I listened to like
Ghost Town City DJs and my boo.
Ghost Town DJs and 95 South.
They were nasty too.
They weren't. I
mean, my boo wasn't nasty.
Exactly.
Tootsie Roll was nasty.
That's different.
Well,
95 South was nasty. They were an extension of Luke.
But you ever listen to a song but ain't listen to the song?
Okay, I'll give you that pass.
Yeah.
But he acting like he didn't, and that was bass music was running in Atlanta before Outkast.
But it was happen chance, right? Like I was either at a barbecue, at a party, at a club, and I heard these songs, but I never bought a Luke CD. I never put Luke in my playlist. Like I didn't know who that was.
Okay, you didn't.
I just
Luke.
heard the music. My cousin.
But you know who's an extension of Luke? Lil Jon and the Eastside Boys.
I love Lil Jon and the Eastside Boys.
See?
But
to the window, to the wall, to the.
I don't listen to that song. I don't listen to that song. I like that song.
No, I'm kidding.
I like.
It does bring you back though.
Yeah,
it does.
I like crunk music because of the aggression music. Like,
but okay,
I like
if you go to an old school party,
if
you go to an old school party, some people are still fighting off of those songs.
Probably
Nuck if
so.
you buck.
So old Negro spiritual.
That's not going anywhere.
It brings
bro.
me back.
That's not going
Y'all
anywhere.
not helping the point of this.
All right, what's the point again?
But what I'm
listening
saying
to
is-
music
the
will bring
point
you
is-
back.
Can music make you do stuff that you don't want to do? I guess
Yes.
that's the question.
It can definitely
Yeah.
influence you. I know when I decided to like get really, really, really serious about my purity walk, I had to get rid of all of that stuff. It's
Yeah.
what you consume, your eye gate, your ear gate.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't listen to sexually explicit music.
Yeah.
I had to throw away all of that stuff because I was like, you're influencing me. Like the flesh and the spirit is always at war.
Yeah.
And what makes the difference is what are you feeding it? So I can't be like, Lord, I want to live for you. I want to be pure. And then I'm listening to Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
But what if somebody who's a Christian goes, I can listen to it. I don't feel no bad way.
Then I would say take it to God in prayer.
You don't realize
Because you should feel something.
You don't realize how when you subject yourself to those things, you're actually getting further away from God. The spirit can't be in you at that point.
But what if it's a Christian out there that's saying, I listen to what's out there. I pray. My prayer life is straight. I fast. I'm in my word. That it bounces off me. What if some Christian said that?
It's still flesh.
Yeah.
It's still opening up a door to the flesh. It might not attack you in that moment,
Right.
but it'll come back and get you.
Yeah.
It'll come back.
And the crazy thing about people who say things bounce off them, they forget. I remember the Lord gave me this, and it was so good. That doesn't mean it doesn't hit you and leave an imprint.
Yeah.
It may be small,
Yeah.
but when we get hit by something, by a ball, there's a bruise there.
Yeah.
It may not show up initially,
Yeah.
but it's something there. That means it doesn't mean it's not affecting you at all.
Yeah.
And I realized, because I want to say about a year or two back, I was like, I heard Money because my sister was like in college and like doing some type of dance competition. So I was like, hey, I like this song by Cardi B, period. Let me listen to her album because I'm fine. When I say my ears were burning, I didn't get through the album. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. But
Even
I
the
did.
clean version or just you listened to the raw version?
I was on Apple Music. I didn't know there was a clean version.
Yeah.
I just was like, let me, this is fine. And it was like, no. And the more I listened to Money even edit it, my mind was literally like,
Get that money.
Get that money. Forget about men. Forget about this. And I was like, I have to be careful because this is influencing my mind.
Yeah.
And that this is not God's way. So I'm like, obviously, I can't be looking at men, using them for money. And like, it sounds small, but it's like, it weighs on you over time.
And let's think about this from this perspective. We're adults and that could do that. Well, imagine teenagers that listen to this 24/7.
You know, that's the thing that scares me more than anything is the generation that we're in. Like, I remember when certain things were whispers in the classroom.
Yeah.
Like, did you know that such and such does this, and you know that such and
You
such.
said the whisper song?
It was no whispers.
No whispers in the class.
But now it's like that's what makes you the person people want to talk to. Like, it was the person we used to shun back in the day.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's the person that people are like, oh, that's what she does. That's what he does. Oh, so and it's scary.
Yeah.
And man, I am so glad that I spent the majority of my life without social media. I am so glad of that. I am so glad that AOL didn't come out to like 1996, and I was already 14 when that happened.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that it's not as easily accessible as it is today to find the trash that is in the world.
But I think trash was back then. Trina was saying the same thing as Cardi B, and Little
It
Kim
just
was
wasn't
saying the same.
mainstream.
Yeah.
You had to find it.
It was more hip hop culture,
But
it wasn't American culture.
But okay, so here's what I'll say the difference is, right? WAP. Every other word is referring to something nasty.
It's so bad.
Trina will make a reference of her body part while she's rapping about something else.
No, Ryan, stop. You're in denial. Stop. Luke,
Shut up. That's the song I'm thinking about.
Luke just said
I'm the
recently,
baddest. I've been
Luke
that.
just said recently, he said, I started what these women are doing. They need to pay me some money. He said that recently.
I would
Luke
say
said
Trina's
that.
features were a little more cleaner than her own songs.
I never heard any Trina song by herself. I've never heard that.
she.
All I've heard is
justify
So here's the
You
thing
went to
though.
college parties.
Here's the thing.
You know what song I'm talking about.
I've
Jesus.
never
I used to be like,
Pull over.
I've never owned music. I've never owned music.
My Miami side.
I can tell you, I can count on 10 fingers all the albums I've ever purchased in my life. Majority of them were No Limit stuff, but that's because they were dropping every week. But for the ones that I did purchase, I had Mace. I don't even know the name of the album anymore. Harlem World, there you go. I had that.
Mace was that dude.
I had 666 Mafia.
Why'd you buy Mace from here, being from Atlanta?
What? Mace was dope, bro.
Right, Mace was that guy.
I mean, I'm from up north, so I knew that. But for somebody that's all crunk and down south music, I didn't think you would say Mace.
I think it was Biggie. Biggie had a big influence.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Biggie was
nasty too. Even though he's one of my favorite rappers, but he was nasty too. His stuff was nasty.
But it wasn't every other word.
It
You
was.
can't get through the WAP song without the next word being more derogatory
But
than
I'm
the last.
saying it was. 2 Live Crew was that.
I wasn't on 2 Live Crew.
You wasn't, but people from our generation was.
Okay, we're talking about me though.
Little John and the Eastside Boys. Was
Man,
nasty.
listen, Lil Jon and the Eastside Boys, they had a song called, In the Club and stuff like that. And I mean, it was like we just wanted to enjoy ourselves and have fun when we were in that age of crunk music.
They the same way. These kids are like,
so Nuck
Cardi
If You
B
Buck
and WAP is my way to have fun.
So Nuck If You Buck is not a nasty song, right? It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Nuck If You Buck does a little. It makes you get a little, a little jump.
Nuck
or whatever.
You Buck,
that's ratchet. We want to fight.
Nuck and You Buck cause people to have felonies, brother.
It make you fight.
Nuck If You Buck.
Kaya.
No, I didn't listen to that.
Yeah.
My neck, my back.
Okay, y'all gotta understand this about me. I worked at a mainstream radio station. I only heard radio version stuff. I never heard album stuff.
So if it was
dirty, if it was really dirty, I don't know to this day how dirty it really was.
That's true, because I didn't realize that I had only heard the clean versions of songs until I drove my cousins home, which are they Gen Z? Genzennials or whatever, from college. And I gave my cousin the aux, and I was like, the whole time, that's what he was saying. Rick Ross.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sitting here, I love Bag of Money. When I heard the unedited, I was like, oh, goodness.
See, and you just had an effect on me because I've never heard of Bag of Money, but now I'm like, I gotta go listen to it, right? Because you say you love it, it's got to be the hook or something.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go listen to it, but I'm saying like it could be affected. That's how easily music can affect us. She just suggested it, and I was like, I wonder what that is.
Really?
I'm not gonna go listen to it because I got that discipline. But what if I didn't? What if somebody else is sitting here that's 18 years old and they're like, oh, Bag of Money, that sounds like something interesting. It's that addictive. It's that much.
All I'm saying is I'm not negating what she said because I feel like 100% she's 100% right. Like, like you gotta once you get your soul clean and get your life right and you trying to move forward. It's just different and honestly, the enemy will use anything in your quiet time. You praying, you trying to pray, you trying to focus on the Lord, meditate on the word,
fantasy football,
and then all of a sudden something come in your mind that you ain't even, you ain't even like meditating on. You may just heard it, or you may have just saw it on a commercial or whatever, and it just pop up. So at the end of it all, it said it all. Man, go to, like she said, test that spirit. I think that was the second one. Test the spirit of them songs, man. And making sure.
So okay, let me go to a poll question. So be honest, how stringent are you on what music you listen to and what movies you watch? Now I'll say this, I'm being truthful. I struggle. Okay. Oh,
the mafia movies be having Ryan.
Bro, the mafia movies mess me up. They mess me up because it's bad because the thing that mafia movies do to me, I like seeing the mafia guy know he's above the law. You know what I'm saying? Like know that you're that powerful. It's just all illusion to me. But I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. Even though it was things happening in real life, they could walk around not be afraid of anything. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, you're not afraid of the other people shooting and killing you. You're not afraid of the cops shooting and killing you. Mm-hmm. You're not afraid of going to jail. Like, they tried to make jail like it was a vacation.
Yeah.
Pablo Escobar, this dude had his own prison built. And he had, entertainment and television. He had celebrities coming in to entertain him, and amongst other things, and prostitutes and all that stuff. It was crazy.
He actually got a picture in front of the police station where he literally took a picture in front of the police station. I was like, bruh.
But I'll say this. The reason why music is more, and people on the poll said that, 64% of the people.
I discern, but it varies.
Yeah. The reason why that's different from me, movies and TV, is because a movie doesn't really stick with me. I can see that one time.
Yeah.
But you put on Elevators by Outkast and it's back to the
All
day.
Man. All right.
Back to the day.
All right, this I don't know. Brian's stuck on throwback. All right, man, this is one of our last topics. Lecrae and T.I. had an interesting debate on religion. Here we go.
Some people have a problem with that, but I believe in that.
When you say exclusivity,
I believe that Jesus is the way. Now, if you don't believe that, you are exclusive yourself because you exclusively believe he's not. So everyone is being exclusive on something. And if you say, well, find your truth. Well, what if my truth says your truth is a lie? So who's true? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I feel like the reason why I rock with Christianity is not have nothing to do with being a white man's religion, nothing like that. It's because I feel like religions in their essence is all about you trying to earn the approval of man and God. And authentic Christianity to me is the only one where a brown-skinned Palestinian man reaches down and will sacrifice himself, and God reaches down and says, "Nah, I'll pull you up. You ain't got to earn this. It's just genuine love." And that's what I would do for my child. I would say, "Hey, if my son got caught in a case, and it was a way for me to take the case for him so he could go ahead and live his life, then lock me up."
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? I'll take it. So that's how I look at the situation. And I understand everybody not gonna agree with that. That's cool. I got Muslim partners, I got atheist partners, I got all kind of partners, but that's where I stand.
But your faith is important because, whatever it is that shapes and molds you into a better man, to walk your walk and live your truth, that's what's important. Whatever that is.
So, okay.
Hold on. Before we start,
Yeah.
Jesus was a brown-skinned Jewish man. He was not Palestinian. Go ahead. I just needed to air that out there. He was Jewish.
That's hilarious, bro.
Yikes.
No, but I think the question goes this. This is what the funny part about it is. Like, did T.I. just just say, to throw away everything Lecrae just said?
Yes.
He was like, whatever is your truth
Well-
is your truth still. But whatever make you a better man, then that's good for you.
I tried to listen to that, right? And I think when I heard that, I heard him say, it's more or less like he was agreeing that it's making you a better man, right? Well, what you're saying is making you a better man.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters, or that matters most. So I don't know if he was dismissing Christianity so much, but basically saying he's saying that's important for people who practice Buddhism and all this other stuff. Is like, if you're going somewhere where you are becoming a better person, you're going to something that's making you better, then that's your truth. And so, he was definitely dismissing what Lecrae was saying, but I don't know if I say he was dismissing Christianity because he sounded like he was inclusive of all.
No, but that's what I'm saying, because it's like I'm sharing. He basically said I'm sharing the gospel that this is the truth. Lecrae was like, this is the truth. Jesus Christ is the only way to God. Like this is the truth. And then Tip was like, that's good. Whatever can help you, that's good to help you. That's your truth. Like, you know what I mean?
I wanted to hear the rest of that conversation.
Well, after that, they went into a joke where he started telling Lecrae a joke about different religions in heaven. I was like,
interesting.
I was about to say, what Bible are they reading? But clearly they're not reading the Bible.
Interesting.
Yeah, this was on. I know people in the comments asking. This was on T.I.'s podcast. He had Lecrae on, and they talked about different things.
Yeah, T.I. has a song coming out with Kurt Franklin.
Yeah,
him, Young Dro. And I'm interested to see where that goes and how that's gonna sound, because I feel like Kurt Franklin is in a position to witness before he makes songs with people. Yeah. And I believe that's what he does. You know what I mean? I don't think he just.
I'll say this: they did defend Christian rap. They was on Hot 107.9, the morning show there, and one of the co-hosts, she was like, I know Christian rap wasn't always that good, and then they was like, no, Lecrae is good, and
who is this?
1K Few.
Who was this?
The Morning Hustle show.
The Morning Hustle?
Yeah.
Who was defending it?
T.I. and Dro.
Oh, they were saying Lecrae is good.
Lecrae and 1K, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. I mean, that's probably all they know.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think they
probably all they know.
They are.
But they basically are saying like that's cool or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that that conversation is good. I'm really interested in T.I. You know, for a long time, T.I. was he was my favorite rapper. Yeah, he was my favorite rapper. And then Lecrae became my favorite rapper. Yeah. So you got two of my favorites in the same room having a conversation. And I know where one stands, but the other one seems like it's trending. Yeah. And I'm curious to see where that trend goes. But I do think that we could have T.I. on this show. I think that's a possibility.
Really?
I do.
I would love to, so we can discover this goodness that he's saying, whatever, because there's truth and there's absolute truth. And like, to go back to what he said, as far as like, as long as whatever you're doing is making you a better person, T.I. is always trending. And in the past couple years, it hasn't been for goodness.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it, whatever you're doing, is it making you good?
Well, so for T.I., there's a lot of interest there for me. And I say that because, you know, look at all the different things that he's been through in his life.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I've always thought children make the narrative different for a lot of people. Gotcha. Right? Because now you're saying, I don't want you in these streets. I don't want you doing this. I don't want you blah, 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 right? Look at Sukihana and Cardi B are saying that they don't want their kids listening to the music they make. Mm-hmm. So it feels like you could get closer to Jesus by wanting better for your family, better for your children. And I feel like T.I. might be exploring that, right? You don't want your kids to know you as the guy that got arrested at the BET Awards and served time in jail for gun charges
or drugging people and allegations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, he just said he said his son about to have a kid. The youngest one of the youngest king was about to have a kid. The one that's always in trouble. I think it's about.
I didn't know it was one that was always in trouble. I just know it was one that's rapping.
He got
is that King or Damani or one of them?
I think King is the one that was rapping, like the baby.
Yeah, he may be rapping too, but I know he just said on a show that he got a kid coming away. My only thing is this:
I hope they're as good as he is.
I mean, one of his sons is good, but he kind of sound like Cole. I think the thing. My only thing about this clip was that it didn't sound like what works for you works for you. Mm-hmm. That's my thing, because Lecrae was telling the truth, and he comes around like, dude, that's good, but it works for you. It worked for you. It made you a better man. It's good for you.
What if I get this feeling a lot? I feel like a lot of people are hesitant to read the word. And what if that's the only thing that's separating you from learning the truth, right? You hear it, oh, that sounds good, Lecrae. Yeah, that's your truth or whatever. But then you read the word yourself and you're like, ooh, this is okay. Okay.
Sidebar. Are you banking on this T.I. thing to be like a Kanye kind of thing, or do you think it's just one song with him and Kurt Franklin?
I'm banking on T.I. to possibly help clean up our community. And when I say
is
that,
this a Will Smith thing, where it's like how Will Smith had the song with like Maverick City and somebody, and then his next song was him saying something crazy?
Dro's testimony in front of T.I. was a good thing, because I saw him nodding his head like Dro really went through some things and found the Lord.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, if an influential voice like T.I. turns away from the wickedness that we've spewed for so much in our community and starts to say, let's get with a 1K few, let's get with a Zaytoven, and let's try to clean things up, clean up the lyrics, clean up the music, clean up the progression of where it is, then I'm all for that.
You're excited about that.
He's still one of my favorite rappers.
See, that's what it is.
He's very excited.
B+, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up,
what do you want to say?
Man, I was
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Go
All right, go ahead.
You got me? So I was actually in the Uber on my way here. Shout out to the Builders Network. I'm here in town for their conference.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to listen in, and the Uber driver, she's a dope lady from Ethiopia. So I was trying to listen and do both. I didn't do a great job, to be honest. I didn't do a great job, but I was able to follow along a little bit. I'm like you in the sense of where like I would love for this to create a ripple effect in our community. Because we need it. We definitely need it. So like I'm a fan from that point of view. It's not so much that I want like a mega rap star to co-sign Christianity.
Nah,
or to co-sign even CHH.
Yeah.
Like this can be something very influential for our community. And if it can spur some change in that, then I think it's a win.
Yeah, because I say this, I'm not interested in T.I. as a rapper anymore, I don't think. Because I haven't followed his music since Paper Trail.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he was still putting out music. I was really surprised at that. But I also wouldn't go looking for it because...
Too.
I heard he got booed on that situation. I also wouldn't go looking for it because that's not the kick I'm on. Like when I was in my T.I. bag, that was when I would be looking for it. When I was at mainstream radio, that's when I would look for it, but I wouldn't look for it now.
My only thing is about him, Will Smith, anybody else who from the mainstream who's trying to do Christian rap is I'm like, just how you are about the streets, you all in the streets, you got to be all in on this.
Yeah,
because you can't be like this, and then the next song or the next project is kind of like going against what you're saying.
Yeah, Kanye destroyed it for me. I'm not letting anybody else have a pass. I'm not letting anybody else have a pass.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like the play of the run. Like when you go through some things like that T.I.'s been through, when you go through those tough situations, like you always know that the black church is going to put their arms around you.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, is he running the play?
Yeah.
Is he doing PR? Or is he really going through some real life change?
Yeah, for who? T.I.?
For anybody.
Oh.
Anybody who like I said, it seems like they can, either you can run this play or you can really be about this.
Yeah.
You just don't know which one.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that Kanye messed it up for me to believe that anybody can just come and change and be in this community and not fade back. I'm always going to be like, come and stay. And maybe 20 years later, I'll be like, oh, they're with us.
20 years.
Yeah.
What about Gabbana?
Give me a good 20 years.
He's pretty much.
Yeah, I think Gabbana.
Gabbana's good. Yeah.
But I think the difference between Holy Gabbana was that Gabbana was more of a social media star first, and then the music started happening, and then like
he was a rapper before.
Yeah, but I think he's more famous for like his skits and like doing crazy stuff. That stuff. So
I just would say the difference would be it's the confession, because even in the clip, he was saying, yeah, but whatever you do to make you good, it's like, no, Jesus is good. Jesus is God. So I guess I'll just be praying for him. So if he's on this self-delivery, well, he's in his trying to search whatever out, that he really has a understanding and a meeting with the Lord.
And that's where it goes back to the conversation we had about Nick and Cam Newton. It's like when you have money and fame and you have the world seeing you as one person, you try to remain that one person rather than submitting to the will of God.
Right.
You know, and so it's harder for God to have a play and a say so in your life when you still got all these other people, you know, microphoning or megaphoning in your ear to be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like T.I., in my opinion, you know, could he ever lose his street credibility if he came and really gave his life to Christ? Is that something he's even concerned about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's something he should be concerned about. I think he's already kind of proven himself in our community as, you know, somebody that, you know, had legacy and tenure with us. But other than that, like, I don't know if that's holding you back from being a different person. You know what I mean?
But
so during the middle of Line for Line, we had, the last topic, we had B Plus slide up to the mic. Introduce yourself, sir. Tell them who you are and what you do.
B Plus is the legendary B Plus.
I'm always in the chat. Well, I had a season where I wasn't.
He's always in the chat, but you know we got a whole new audience every week. So
that's true. So I'm B Plus. I guess like a quick. I have a show here
on Holy Culture
at 6 p.m. So in a few hours, I'll be on show. I got Big Swiss coming by. He's doing a series.
Oh, Swiss Beats, cool.
Say again?
I said Swiss Beats.
Not Swiss Beats. Big Swiss.
Yeah.
Big Swiss.
Yeah, but I have him coming on the show today. But yeah, so quick, I guess, story is that I started a YouTube channel just covering Christian hip hop, doing album reviews.
Yep.
So I did that. Went to the mic drop in Dallas. I asked a question to the panel. From the stage, they were like, you need to hook up with Trig afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. So I met Trig. Trig was like, when I met him, he was like, I think I've seen you before. And I was like, yeah, I got a YouTube channel. He's like, oh, you do good stuff. So fast forward like 6 months later when Holy Culture got on with SiriusXM, he called me and was just like, I want you to be a contributor. I'm looking like, I don't have a show.
Amen.
I just run a YouTube channel where when I have time, I think when I met Trig, I probably had maybe 100-something subscribers. So I was like, I felt like nobody knew who I was.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Praise God, he'll do it.
Yeah, so when he was like, I think I know you, I was just like me?
Yeah.
So that was pretty dope. So I've been with Holy Culture now for 2 years. Run the Be Positive music show.
Yeah, man.
What I love doing with Christian hip hop is promoting the positivity in it, promoting the wins, because we have enough people finding the drama, figuring out where the beefs are, figuring out who said what. But we have a really, really rich history, and we have a lot to offer. So yeah, I'm a super Christian hip hop fan.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for being in the chat each week. We appreciate that.
And he's in the Midwest, Dallas, right?
Yeah, I'm in Dallas. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so I'm here in town and had to stop by.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by, man. Thank you so much to everybody who supported, on the channel today, who dropped in chat. Sorry, we didn't get to all the polls. We didn't interact much with the chat. May you not notice this, but when Sean is not here, I'm a little bit nervous. Running some things.
You're good.
Got Jerry here. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It's the first time we haven't had to call Sean and be like, yo, are we good? We straight? We can't get the internet going? Blah, blah, blah. So it was really, really cool to have the whole team support and back us up today. So we appreciate y'all.
Before we leave, somebody Ray said, sis got to introduce herself. I was like, she said something earlier, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, true. Hey guys, my name is Shania Longley. Young evangelist, filmmaker, screenwriter, and writer, daughter of the King. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Trackstarz team. Yeah, she's on our team.
Yep, Trackstarz team.
So you can catch the Trackstarz same place, same time next week. Pray for our team, going through some adversity, but God is good and faithful, and we know that. So until next time, you're in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah.